Hey guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with r/am I the a-hole, where people want to know whether they are a horrible person or not, and we help them decide. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, Am I the jerk for getting a paternity test on my son who does not look like me? I am a 29-year-old white guy, my wife is 30 and black. We have 2 kids, a 3-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy. My wife got pregnant with our son early in our relationship. We had only been together a year. We got married because she got pregnant. Fortunately for us, we are actually happy. When my son was born, I accepted him as mine. However, I couldn't help noticing how little he looked like me. He is noticeably darker than my wife, he does not look half white. My family and friends have asked if I'm sure he is mine. I had doubts, but I initially decided to trust my wife. I love my son regardless. When our son was 2, my wife had our daughter. I had no doubt she's mine. She looks just like me, she even has my blue eyes. I never realized how powerful it is to know that a child is yours. I bonded with her easier because there was not the question of paternity dangling over our heads. My family bonded with her faster too. Her resemblance to me convinced me that my son is not mine. I try to always treat them equally as I see them both as my children. But I realized I was beginning to resent my son. It felt unfair that I had to care for someone else's child. I also began to resent my wife because I felt she had betrayed me. I finally got a paternity test in secret. I was relieved to learn that my son is in fact mine. Genetics are weird. Anyways, that was 4 months ago and my relationship with my wife and son improved dramatically. I feel much closer to him now that I know he's mine. My wife and I have been so happy that we were talking about a 3rd child. I confessed to my wife that I got a paternity test. I hated keeping the secret and I thought she would understand given how much he does not look like me. However, she flipped out. She asked me if I ever doubted our daughter, and when I said no, she called me a racist. It is not true, I did not prefer my daughter because of her whiter features, I just knew she was mine. She also said that I made our son feel unloved for no reason for all those years. I said that is bull. Even when I did not believe my son was mine, I treated him as though he were. My wife says she wants to move out and take our children after the quarantine. It has been about a week and a half and I am still on the sofa. I hoped she would have calmed down by now, but things have not changed. She's just so furious with me for not trusting her and for, in her eyes, denying my son because he is dark. She barely talks to me unless it is about the kids. I don't want to lose my family. Here is where I turn to you, Reddit. Is it so awful that I had doubts? I still took care of him. I don't understand why something like this is wrecking my marriage. I think she's overreacting. So, am I the a-hole? And guys, I will redirect this question to you. So, once again, is OP the a-hole for getting a paternity test on his son because he thought that his son does not look like him at all? Personally, I would probably not say that he is an a-hole, but he is an idiot. Obviously, he did not pay much attention in the biology class. Let me know what you think in the comments, and now we will look at what the people from Reddit are saying in the comments. One guy said, "You are the a-hole, she is absolutely not overreacting. You not only did not trust your wife, you let your ignorance get in the way of you bonding with your child. I mean, what did you think was going to happen when you had biracial children? It is not always a perfect mocha mixture of both parents. You may get that, you may get a kid who is white as a vampire or as dark as Wesley Snipes. By the way, I'm a big fan. You really need to suck it up and beg for forgiveness, and then you need to fix that ignorant way of thinking that you have. Your son is going to need you. Being a black man in this world is not easy." And another guy said, "My biggest problem with your whole story is this." And OP said, "She also said that I made our son feel unloved for no reason for all those years." And then the guy says, which entirely contradicts what you said before, which was, "I try to always treat them equally, as I see them both as my children." And then the guy in the comments said, "You did not treat your children equally. For 5 years, a significant part of you believed your son was not yours. You really think that didn't affect your parenting? Your son is young enough that you will probably be able to undo any damage, but you are refusing to accept that it had any effect on your parenting when it clearly did." Okay guys, I gotta say, these people are convincing me OP might really be an a-hole. And no, you shouldn't have doubted your wife, but most of all, this suspicion of yours that was based on nothing except his skin color, which might very well lighten a bit when he grows up, by the way. Maybe your wife was darker when she was a baby, affected the way you treated your son. That is what makes you the a-hole. Your child did not do anything to deserve that. You should feel guilty for treating him so unfairly. And you should accept your wife's criticism of you, because she is not overreacting. This might wreck your marriage because it goes to the heart of a very basic trust that needs to exist between you and your wife as partners, but also between you and your wife as parents. She needs to be able to trust that you won't love your daughter and hate your son just because you see more of yourself in your daughter. You should try to repair the damage you did, admit your faults, and you might have a chance of keeping your family together. And another guy said, "You married a black woman and for some reason got confused that one of your children ended up black. Please take a high school level biology course, something. You are the a-hole." And the next one, update, am I the jerk for getting a paternity test on my son who does not look like me? After being ripped to shreds on my first post, I did not plan to ever log into this account again. Some recent events have persuaded me to update you all on what has been going on. I will just get right to it. My wife and I are separated currently. I moved out so she and the kids could stay in our home. I am staying with my parents for now. I don't get to see my kids as often as I would like to. When I have a more stable living situation, we will have joint custody of them. It has been very hard on me and the kids. I talk to them on the phone every night and they both keep asking when I am coming home. It breaks my heart that I cannot answer that question. My daughter is taking it the worst. I feel awful that her world had been turned upside down by her own parents. I miss my family. I miss seeing my kids every day. I miss my wife. Our relationship has been put in limbo for now. She says she needs space to process and does not know if she will be able to forgive me. I've apologized in every way that I know how to. At this point I just have to give her the space she wants and hope she calms down. It would be horrible for us to throw away what we built. If separating has been this hard on the kids, divorce is going to shatter them. She seems open to seeking couples counseling. It gives me some hope that we can work past this. As for Reddit, I admit I did not want to hold myself accountable before. I couldn't see how my actions were subconsciously harmful to my son. It was never my intention to be racist, but I did treat my son differently due to his skin color when you strip it down to its roots. I realized how bad I effed up when I felt ashamed, thinking my wife has probably told her family why we separated. They used to think really highly of me, now they all probably think that I am a racist. I have no one to blame for that but myself. With all the craziness going on in the world, I know that I need to be more aware of my actions. My kids deserve to have their family to be a safe haven from racism. It scares me thinking about the type of world I would send them out into where they could be racially profiled in most places. I cannot imagine if it were my son on the news instead of one of those other poor guys. I will never let anything get in the way of my relationship with him again. Thanks all. And guys, I'm not sure what you think about this guy now, but I think he really learned his lesson. I think he did not have any really bad intentions, he just did a very stupid mistake. And thank God he understood what he did wrong. And by the way, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. Thank you so much in advance, it is very much appreciated. And the next one is titled, Am I the a-hole for not wanting to get rid of my gang tattoos for the sake of my daughter? I spent 7 years in prison and I got out 3 years ago. I am now 30, I was a criminal and a horrible person. I did a lot of effed up stuff, most of it related to my gang. I currently have a 2-year-old daughter, Mia. Me and the mom are not married, but we share custody of Mia. When Mia was born, I was already halfway out the door of the gang, and the birth of Mia gave me the push I needed. I moved away with Mia and her mom, and we tried our best to start over. I love Mia with all my heart, she saved my life. I have a lot of gang-related tattoos, and I do mean a lot. They are pretty prominently displayed on me and are noticeable. Mia's mother has been after me to get rid of them or cover them up with other tattoos. The thing is, I don't think I want to do that. It's not that I am proud of them or like them, it is that they remind me of how far I have come and I don't want to forget it. I don't want to forget what happened. I don't think I should get to just forget it like that. I eventually broke down and told her this after she asked me again yesterday about it. She got super upset with me and said that I needed to do it for the sake of our daughter and that if I did not, then that meant I missed the life. She also said that I was putting my daughter in danger because somebody could recognize my tattoos and cause trouble for me. I told her I have not been in that life for years and that it is unfair for her to say that as she knows that I love Mia. I am honestly conflicted. I've gone back and forth about what to do with my tattoos and I thought that I had reached a reasonable decision. So Ripe Stars, the question goes back to you. Is OP the a-hole for not wanting to get rid of his gang tattoos for the sake of his daughter? You decide, let us know about your opinion in the comments. And a user in the comments said, you are the a-hole, but only gently though. You don't need your tattoos to remember. You don't need anything to remember how far you have come. If anything, your daughter could be that for you. Letting you know how far you have come, how far she's going to go. I know you want to keep them as a memory, but it is okay to let go now. Her mother is right in that it could be dangerous, not just gangs trying to start trouble, but you could be unnecessarily harassed by police due to the tattoos as well. You sound like a wonderful dad and I hope everything goes well. And another guy said, you are the a-hole, but I get where you are coming from. You don't need a physical reminder of your past. That past landed you in prison and your daughter's mother has a point in regards to your tattoos potentially causing problems for you in the future. If it is truly in your past, let it go, cover them up. And another person said, you are the a-hole, there could be so many negative consequences for your daughter. If the only reason you have them is as a reminder, then I think your daughter should be the priority. If they are distinctly gang tattoos, I would get rid of the ones you cannot cover. A back tattoo, for example, I would not worry about. But a face, neck, forearm or a hand tattoo, I would look into getting it altered to something else or removed. Going forward, if you pick your daughter up from school, will other parents tell their children not to be friends with her? What if they see you with her at the shops? Will they not invite your daughter to play dates or birthday parties? What if she does really well at school and you interview for an elite school or program? Or if she goes for a job interview at a cafe and the owner sees you dropping her off? I would seriously consider addressing some of the gang tattoos if you want to maintain a healthy relationship with your daughter in public. And by the way guys, I'm curious, do any of you have tattoos in real life? Let us know which ones you got in the comments. And the next one is titled, am I the a-hole for not wanting to get rid of my gang tattoos for the sake of my daughter? I listened to what everyone told me and one person in particular who suggested that I get Mia to draw something to cover up some of my tattoos. Well, I got her to do that and I covered up some of the most significant ones with her drawings. They have all turned out beautifully and I'm so grateful for the idea. I am working on incorporating my remaining tattoos into a new design as other people also suggested. I am also trying to work through the existing feelings I have regarding my old gang. Mia's mother has been very supportive regarding all this and our relationship has been a work in progress too. It has been a work in progress, but seeing my tattoos turn into something I love has been a very cathartic experience. The next one is titled, am I the a-hole for donating my daughter's college fund instead of giving it to my stepdaughter to help buy a house? So I have a 16-year-old daughter that passed away in a car accident October 19th. I've been collecting a college fund for her since she was young. My ex-husband and I both put money into it, as well as she put some of her paychecks from work into it, and it is about $25,000 full. I recently got remarried to a man who has a 30-year-old daughter. My stepdaughter does not like me because I am only 3 years older than her. My husband is significantly older than I am. My daughter was very passionate about the environment, and my ex-husband and I discussed what we would do with the college fund. My husband says it was my daughter and I can do what I feel is right to honor her. We decided to divide it, and we would each donate to charities we felt would make our daughter proud. My stepdaughter, however, thinks we should split it evenly and even should get some cushion for buying a house, since I am married to her father and that makes my contribution his money too. She thinks donating essentially $13,000 would not mean anything to a big charity, and I could help someone I know in real life. My husband has since joined her side and thinks $13,000 would help her buy a house, and we can honor my daughter in another way. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to change my plans? And guys, once again, I will redirect this question to you. I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. Edit: there seems to be some confusion and I am so sorry for wording it poorly. My ex-husband and I, and a little bit my daughter, are the sole people putting money into the fund. My current husband has not put any money into the fund from his personal finances. My stepdaughter and my biological daughter did not have a relationship, as my stepdaughter is almost twice her age. I am 33 and my husband is 58. We have a joint house account as well as separate personal funds. My stepdaughter has brought this up multiple times. It was not just a suggestion, she constantly brings it up. My stepdaughter is also not poor off financially. She can afford a house, she is single, my husband helped her pay off her debt before we got married, she just wants some cushion. Edit number 2, I am dividing the funds with my ex-husband, not my husband now. My ex-husband gets half to do with as he pleases to honor our daughter, my current husband gets nothing. And a user in the comments said, not the a-hole, what a greedy young woman your stepdaughter is. That would not be honoring your daughter, really, as it has nothing to do with her. Stick to your guns. And another person said, not the a-hole, your stepdaughter and husband are being really ugly here. They are not at all entitled to money you, your ex-husband and your daughter put into a college fund. Their disrespect for your choice in how to honor your daughter and obvious money grubbing is making my stomach turn here. And another guy said, not the a-hole, I am way down here in Narnia, so you probably shouldn't see this, but I think it would be a great idea if you made your portion into a scholarship honoring your daughter in a field of study that relates to her interest. You could do $1,000 scholarship a year for 13 years. Her memory can live on, have some criteria like an essay for the applicants to write regarding loss or the field of study and why they are going into it. You will be rewarded reading other stories as well. Update: am I the a-hole for donating my deceased's daughter's college fund instead of giving it to my husband's daughter? I've gotten messages asking for an update, so I will give one. I left my husband, he told me I could not do what I wanted with the college fund. I took my name off the account, so my ex-husband was the only owner in the case that my soon-to-be ex-husband tried to claim that money in our divorce. My daughter's father and I went for a trip to my daughter's favorite town. We went to her favorite spot and spread her ashes. I've been staying with my sister and looking for apartments to move into. As far as the fund, we have discussed starting a scholarship or paying a student's tuition. We haven't decided exactly what to do, that is about it. And guys, unfortunately, that was the last story for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please don't forget to check out my Patreon for more exclusive Reddit content at patreon.com/ripeyoutube. Especially if you are interested in Just No Mother-in-Law, then I really recommend checking out my Patreon. Thank you so much for watching and for all the support. Without all of you guys, I could not continue doing this. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.